Duolingo is down 82% from all-time high. Meanwhile, financial Twitter is separated into two camps. One thinks that Duolingo has no moat and the company is going another 70% from current prices. And second camp thinks that Duolingo is 1000x opportunity because this will be the biggest educational platform of the new AI era. In this video, we're gonna review the main reasons why Duolingo is down so much, latest earnings report, competition, bull case, bear case, projection for the next 5 years, reverse DCF for Duolingo, recent insider transactions, and finally, I will give you my action plan, what I'm going to do with my Duolingo shares. The full disclosure, I have a small position in Duolingo, I am significantly down. Am I planning to buy more, or I will keep my position as it is, or I'm planning to sell out of my position? In May 2025, Duolingo was traded at $540 per share, and now, less than 1 year ago, Duolingo is down more than 80% from all-time highs. It's significantly more than the bear market in 2022. Meanwhile, paying attention to fundamentals, gross margin very high, 70%. This is a software as a service business, operating margin positive, net income margin very profitable, free cash flow margin also 36%, even though here included a stock-based compensation. Valuation dirt cheap. Now let's see how Duolingo makes most of its money. Most of the money is coming from subscription, $242 million. It's basically those pro plan, max plan when you are paying for monthly subscription, yearly subscription. Advertising, it's the free users. They are watching ads and continue learning after watching ads. So this 20 million is coming from advertising. Duolingo English test. Currently they have $10 million per quarter from the English test. Also have enough purchases and other products. For the revenue, income, free cash flow, everything growing, revenue growing, income growing, free cash flow growing, margins are expanding. Free cash flow margin from negative currently expanded to 35%. Absolutely beautiful. Here is one negative part. The stock-based compensation is taking quite significant part of the free cash flow. So this is not too good to see. The cash is increasing, the debt is growing, but not too fast. Only 200 million in debt and more than 1 billion in cash. Per share metrics are also improving. Earnings per share from negative goes positive. Free cash flow per share improving. Revenue per share also growing. So let's dig deeper. What are the main reasons why Duolingo is down so much? In spring 2025, OpenAI had presentation and they mentioned that you can easily build within 2 or 3 hours without any technical skills the language learning app. And after that, investors started to price in what if this is really a bear case. And then in August 2025, head of marketing left. And this is very key event because after this the stock continued to goes down, and this is mostly for fundamental reasons now. Zaria Parves grew Duolingo's TikTok from 50,000 subscribers to 16 plus million with hundreds of millions of likes for the viral post. She created this brand for Duolingo, unhinged, chaotic viral brand. And this led to huge revenue growth. So after we do not have this key person in Duolingo's executives team, the user growth decelerated. I believe this is one of the main reasons of the deceleration of the user growth. Coming to the latest earnings of Duolingo, in 2025 they surpassed 50 million daily active users, generated 1 billion in bookings, over 400 million in income, 300 million adjusted EBITDA. And here CEO is mentioning, while our DAU growth over the past several years have been nothing short of phenomenal, from 2022 to 2025, we did not have a single quarter with year-over-year DAU growth below 40%. Absolutely outstanding. It decelerated throughout 2025, and we expect 2026 DAU growth to be about 20%. After investors heard this number, deceleration from 40% to 20%, of course, for the Wall Street, this is the clear sell signal. Continuing with the press release, the medium-term goal of this strategy is to reach 100 million DAU in 2028. So currently they have a bit more than 50 million and they want to double that in basically 2 years. 2.5 years, they want to double that to 100 million daily active users. But the short-term implications of that this year we will see slower booking growth and lower profitability. We expect bookings growth to be around 11% in 2026. After Wall Street analysts read this line, the only thing they are thinking is sell now, ask questions later. Now, one thing I really loved when I read the shareholder letter from Duolingo is this quote. Dear potential investors, the main thing you need to know is that I plan to dedicate my life to building a future in which throughout technology, every person on this planet has access to the best quality of education. And not only that, but a future in which people want to spend their time learning. Duolingo is the platform for building that future, and we are just getting started. Absolutely beautiful quote from Louis Vuitton. In terms of the guidance, Duolingo is guiding for 11% on bookings for the next quarter and 10 to 12% for the next year. And from the revenue perspective, they are guiding for 25% for the next quarter and 15 to 18% for the next year. Now, one interesting thing I found when I was researching Duolingo and its competitors is that actually Duolingo recently had quite significant amount of capex. You can see in Q4 2024 is just 2 billion in capex, and in Q4 2025 it's more than almost 11 billion dollars in capex. I was wondering, why do they need so much capex? This is the software as a service company. And then I dig deeper and I opened three main competitors. You could not really say that this is main competitors because Udemy and Coursera, they are having different kind of courses and different kind of topics. Meanwhile, for Duolingo, they are focusing mostly on a language learning app, and also they have math, music, and also chess. But if we are considering Duolingo as a potential candidate to become a educational platform, we need to compare it with other companies who is also doing different topics. And you can see for Duolingo, they are investing significantly more than its competitors, $18 million in the capex. In 2020, they just did 4 million, and now they almost 5x their capex. Meanwhile, for the Udemy, the capex is declining. And for Coursera, for the last 2 years, they are almost spending no capex whatsoever. Now, here need to understand why Duolingo actually need capex. The first is because they are this call with Lily, what is included in their max plan, call with Lily with this AI tutor, is basically using LLM under the hood. So this is what we so-called kind of a wrapper on the LLM. So they need to pay for tokens to provide this service for their customers. And meanwhile, they also need to use the proprietary data in the platform. And finally, they will be able to use these models to better improve the user experience, to better improve the topics they're talking about with the customers, and so on and so forth. Now, in terms of the share price for Duolingo and its competitors, here picture is quite ugly for all of them. Duolingo actually declined the list of 36% from October 2021, and Coursera and Udemy are both down north of 80% from 2021's level. Now let's talk about the bear case first. So the first bear case, as I mentioned, is competition from AI-first online language tutors. This could be a small startups, or this could be OpenAI or Google directly opening the competitor which is directly competing with Duolingo. Firstly, I believe that the small competitors are not really problem for Duolingo. Why? It's because Duolingo has significantly more proprietary data and they are profitable. Meanwhile, Coursera and Udemy, they are not profitable companies. They are still losing money. So it's much more complicated for them to increase the capex as significantly as Duolingo is doing right now. So for small players, I'm not too worried. And also another reason why I believe this is not a very valid bear case is because during the latest earnings call, just 3 to 4 weeks ago, the CEO during the earnings call was asked about the competition, and he said, we do not see any competition. We are tracking this very closely, but we did not see that someone is aggressively taking market share from us. They are still top one place in education in Apple Store and also in Android. So they are the most popular education learning, free educational learning app. Now, the second bear case is that Duolingo is just software as a service company which can be vibe coded in 1 week. I believe the main reason why this bear case is not valid is because Duolingo has 50 million daily active people. And even if you vibe code the app Exactly like that. Firstly, you do not have this kind of huge amount of proprietary data about your users. And secondly, you cannot just cross sell them, because what Duolingo is trying to do, they are going to new areas. They are going to open science course. Now they already have chess growing very fast, music, languages. And the last bear case, I cannot learn a language using Duolingo. So people on Twitter are saying that there is no successful use case where someone was using Duolingo and after that he just learned the language and now he's fluent. Here I would separate people who are really motivated and people who are just entering the app just to finish the one lessons before the night to keep their streak, because the motivated people, they will be coming to learn new vocabulary, they will be coming to practice, they will be coming to actually do the work. Meanwhile, for people who are not too serious about language learning, I'm 100% agree with this bear case that you cannot learn a language using Duolingo, but need to add if you do not have motivation. So this is about the bear case. Now let's move to the bull case. Number one, Duolingo is one of the first educational mobile first apps. They actually started this quite early, so they are one of the first who bet on mobile first experience. And now we see that most of the people are using mobile phones to surf the web, they're using applications and stuff. Less and less people are using computers or notebooks. Second, faster content generation with AI. So currently Duolingo is using AI in a lot of places. I was listening for the interview from the CEO and stuff. They are trying to improve the efficiency with AI in every area. They are generating the animations with AI, they are writing the software with the help of AI tools. For example, the math was created by two people, and those two people are not technical people, which means that they are really trying to find and trying to use all possible use cases to improve the efficiency. Third, gamification of education. This one is really interesting. You could say if Google opens language learning app, they could easily compete and take market share from Duolingo. And this is 100% true. Why? Is because they have data about people. We are using Google search. Google has 90% market share in search. So everything we are searching, they know about us. We are using YouTube. They know what we are interested in and so on and so forth. In this case, Google could be leveraging this data about us in the application they are building. And they could be just building this AI tutor, language learning tutor, based on the topics you are interested, based on the topics you need for work. But the smaller players who do not have this huge amount of proprietary data, they will not be able to compete with Duolingo on this level because they have gamification. It's like more like a social network. It's not like a strict educational app. It's more like a game with the language learnings or math learnings, science, chess learnings, experiences. The fourth one is valuation. For the valuation, let's go back to investkit.io. And for the valuation, we can just see from the perspective of price to earnings. Currently, Duolingo is trading at around 11. And let me remind you that Duolingo in the latest quarter grew 40%. Let's have a look at the price to sales. What about price to sales? Price to sales is less than 5. It is the cheaper it was in basically from the IPO from September 2021. Let's check the price to operating cash flow. Price to operating cash flow is less than 12. Dirt cheap. What about price to free cash flow? Price to free cash flow 12. For the company which is growing 40% and guiding for 20% or even 25%, it's too cheap. Okay. So from the valuation perspective, the company is very cheap. That's why I input this as a bull case, one of the bull case. The fifth one, cost per token will drop. Let me explain. So now, every time you are using LLM, you are calling LLM by API. It could be ChatGPT, it could be Gemini, Grok, or whatever LLM. In this case, you are paying for all those tokens. So to call the LLM, you need to pay for the token. This will drop with the improvement of the software of the large language model and also with the improvement of the hardware where the chip designers are building the better chips, more efficient chips. The cost per token will absolutely collapse. This is happening with all the innovations in history. So in this case, this is the tailwind for Duolingo because they are paying for these tokens, and it will be cheaper for Duolingo to serve their customers if the price per token is dropping. And the last one is LLMs today are the worst. Let me explain. So currently we have this ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, and this seems like really nice. They're already helping us with a lot of stuff. It's like you have a PhD assistant in your pocket. But let me tell you that today, beginning of 2026, LLMs are the worst they ever been. So from today, it will become only better from here. It will become only smarter. It will become only faster. It will become only more efficiently. So in this case, we can say that this is another tailwind for Duolingo. Now let's run a projection on Duolingo and understand which price we could expect in 5 years if we invest in Duolingo today. Coming to our 5-year projection, currently Duolingo is making $1 billion in revenue. Revenue growth is north of 40%, operating cash flow $480 million, 37% margin, price to operating cash flow very low, multiple of 12, in market cap less than $5 billion. And the current share price is $99 per share. We are projecting, based on the Duolingo's guidance, we already know that they projected for the next year 15 to 18% growth on the top line. So we are inputting 15%. Here we can just click and we can just edit this number very easily like this. So we can input a 15% and then 10% until 2030. And for the operating cash flow margin, currently from 40, we just will input 30. I believe it's much more conservative to margin compression, okay? And for the multiple price to operating cash flow, we will not use 12 because 12 is actually too cheap for this company because this is high margin company, software as a service, they do not have too much capex. So I think a multiple of 20 is much more fair for Duolingo in 2030. Having said that, I believe the upside for Duolingo in 5 years could be up to 150% or 20% CAGR from this level. And the market cap we could expect in after 5 years is around $10.5 billion. Now coming to the reverse DCF for Duolingo. Reverse DCF is basically we are calculating which free cash flow growth is priced into the current share price. And let me tell you, currently what is priced in, implied free cash flow growth is 1%. I mean, 1%. This is it is what it is, but that is what priced into the stock as for now. So if you believe that Duolingo can grow 5% or 8%, the stock is significantly undervalued here. Another positive signal that we could be near the bottom is insider transaction for Duolingo. We did not have too much transactions from the Duolingo's management, but here you can see recently we have a transaction from the executive, from the James. He bought the stock with basically the current price $99.76. He bought $500,000 in stock, which could be quite nice signal. Before we had only insider sales here. I'm not too bearish about insider sales because I understand that executives are getting shares as a part of their compensation and they are selling these shares to buy some other stuff for their families and this and stuff. So I'm not too bearish about these red signals about insider selling, but I'm quite bullish about insider buys. And we can see that in March 3rd, insider bought $500,000 using his own money of Duolingo stock, which could mean that the stock could be close to the bottom because the director definitely knows where the company is moving. He is close to the CEO, he is listening for all the important meetings, he is aware of the insider situation in the company. Now, my final thoughts and what I am doing with my Duolingo position. I believe Duolingo here is undervalued. I think that they have some signals about close to the bottom in terms of the insider transactions. I believe that Duolingo have more bull cases than bear cases. I do not really believe most of the bear cases with the vibe coding of the language app, with the disruption from the other small AI tutor players and stuff. I believe that could become a disruption from big player like a Google or OpenAI. This totally possible. But smaller players, no, Duolingo is already quite large, so they cannot compete with Duolingo anymore. What I'm going to do with my shares? Right now I'm holding, and the main reason I did not bought more is because other company I love, other company I want to buy more, they are also on sale. Amazon is on sale, Mercado Libre on sale, Meta is on sale. So that's why there are too much opportunities right now in the market that I believe that Duolingo maybe is not the best opportunity. Maybe I'm not the most confident in buying Duolingo right now because there are better place for my money at this stage of the stock market. Thank you so much for your time and watching the video. Let me know in the comments what you are doing with your Duolingo position. Do you believe this is 1000x or this is going to zero? If you are interested in the platform used for recording this video, it's investkit.io. I will leave the link in the description below. We are doing A/B test now and all premium features are available for free. So feel free to come and give it a try and leave your feedback. How do you like it? Thank you so much again, and I will see you in the next one.